It's the Bill Scott Cubicle Show. Yeah? It's the Bill Scott Cubicle Show. Yeah!
Ooh, cubicle participation today. Shout out to Tall Sean and Meredith. Thank you.
Filmed in front of a live cubicle audience.
What's going on? I'm Scott.
And I'm Bill.
And this is
The Bill and Scott Cubicle Show.
Episode 92. Can you believe it? We're
did
here. Number 92. So today we need a special guest from Fly 92. If anybody's over there wants to make their way over. But anyways, so let's talk about these
I guess not.
these big deals. I guess they're not around.
Ooh, all right, so first things first, I want to say real quick, the one thing that I love the most about winter is that your car turns into a fridge, and you can just pull your drink out of the car in the morning. It's just as refreshing, even more refreshing than it was last night.
Last night drink?
Well, yeah, I accidentally left my drink in the car last night, and I was like, I don't feel like going out to get it.
He wonders why he
was
wasn't
like,
feeling so good yesterday.
It'll be nice and cold in the morning when I want it, and it is.
So Disney is buying 21st Century Fox. Is this the big news? We're going to get into
today's top story.
We're going to get into this Lil Pump talk and this Walking Dead stuff in just a few minutes here. We'll put the Walking Dead at the end because it's going to be a spoiler if you haven't seen it yet. We've waited 2 days.
Right.
But that will be at the end, so just in case, you know what I mean, we won't hit you with it.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about this acquiring.
Disney is expected to close a deal tomorrow to buy 21st Century Fox. There's this film and TV production that owns, interestingly enough, the 20th Century Fox movie production company. 21st Century Fox is like the big umbrella, and then 20th Century falls under that, which means that Disney will, after this sale, own the rights to virtually all Marvel superheroes, including the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, things like Deadpool, characters that have never been in a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie before because they were owned by a different studio. So the way this works is that back before Marvel had their own studio, which was then bought by Disney, they would license out their character properties to other companies to make movies. So Sony had Spider-Man, Fox had X-Men, but then Marvel got their own studio, which was, again, bought by Disney, and now Disney is going after, it sounds aggressive. I guess it is aggressive because they're paying $60 billion for it. So they're basically buying the rights to have all the superheroes in the movie at once. So you could see the X-Men fighting alongside the Avengers with the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And now, Spider-Man is still owned by Sony, but they've got that deal where he's, part of the Marvel Universe too.
I'm not really too excited for it, to be honest with you. But I am excited to watch Marvel crash and burn over the next decade, to be honest with you. I am super excited for that. Like, hey, listen, Marvel fans, you did it to yourself. I'm a huge superhero fan. I love Marvel movies. I still go to all of them, but I do not support Marvel at all anymore, just because the way people are so sided with Marvel. I have to take the other side.
I understand that. And
I just have to.
I think the DC movies are way better than people give them credit for, and I do feel like
they're not the best movies ever,
right.
but they're not ones.
Right. I do feel like if there's so much backlash against DC, and it's a little cartoonish. And I also think that Marvel, especially with a movie like Thor Ragnarok, is starting to become like a parody of itself. Like, it's so up its own butt now with all the jokes and the humor that it doesn't make sense. Like
that's not even what Thor would ever do.
That movie did not make sense for the character.
Thor would throw up if you ever seen. Thor is rolling over in his grave right now.
Mm-hmm. But $60 billion, we were like, ooh, how much is Mark Zuckerberg worth? Could he buy 21st Century Fox right out from under Disney? As it turns out, Mark Zuckerberg has a net worth of $71.4 billion.
Damn.
So this guy could theoretically be like, you know what, I'm going to add another $5 billion to that bid. How's that sound, Fox? And still walk away with the rights to the X-Men and all of this other stuff and still have $5 billion, $6.4 billion left over.
And that's just going to probably just like triple in like 6 months anyways because of all this stuff he's acquired and everything. So it'll be interesting to see what Disney does. But I mean, Disney is a pretty good company, I do think, honestly, when it comes to like certain film franchises.
Sure.
Like, I think what they've done with Star Wars is really, really good. And a lot of people were like, oh, how is this going to work out with Star Wars? I think they've done an excellent job on that. So we'll just see how it goes. You gonna go see Star Wars this weekend?
Of course. That's one that you got to see as soon as possible because I had some jerk on my Facebook just spoil the.
And that's
last
why
movie.
we're going to save our Walking Dead talk to the end.
Fortunately, I saw it before the spoiler that I saw on my feed. But I was like, you know what? If I hadn't seen the movie yet, and it was literally like the afternoon that it came out, I went and saw it in the morning. If I hadn't seen it, I would have been really mad. So I'm going to see it ASAP. Speaking of the new Star Wars movie and what Disney has done with the franchise, it's looking pretty good. The new Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi, comes out on Friday, and it's got a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes out of 160 reviews.
Okay, well, that's not bad.
That's a lot. It's a lot of.
See, I would do that. Now, here's something that I do, right?
Metacritic. We're going to go to Metacritic next.
Now, I started a Rotten Tomatoes account so I could go on and rate Marvel movies once.
To fight against the,
Even
the
if I like
reviews,
the Marvel movies, I give them a 1.
because Disney is paying off critics to give DC movies a bad review, which I sort of believe, honestly.
I do too.
I feel like actually at this point they don't even need to, because the hype train, like the hate train, is rolling, and it's
They did
it's
their
got enough-
job.
yeah.
But you know what? Doing all that is going to mess with the... They should have played nice, because I think the superhero, the stuff that we know, is going to just die out over the next 5 years.
Well, apparently Marvel has plans to continue the franchise for like 20 years.
Good luck.
So, so you think it's going to take less than half of that to kill?
Yeah, like a
kill their
quarter of it.
momentum. Okay.
Yeah, quarter of it. And then so Lil Pump is in some hot
Here
water
we
right
go.
now with some Catholics, right? So
Some
Lil Pump
Catholics.
filmed his Gucci Gang video at a Catholic elementary school in Los Angeles, right? So I guess after the video came out, now it's last it checked, and when this story was reported, it had 240 million views. It probably is around 250, 260 now, right? So he in the video, he's walking around, he's walking through the hallways with big bags of weed. He's got a lion in there. He's got syrup. He's smoking a blunt. He takes a big old bag of weed and smacks a teacher right in the face with it. Well, anyways, needless to say, the video eventually found its way back to the upper ups, the archdiocese. I said it right?
You did. You got it.
I
We were
was
going
like-
over this before the show. Like, how do you say this word?
It was like 20 minutes ago, too, so I was like, oh, man, I'm going to mess this up. So the diocese, basically, they came out and they said that, hey, none of our parishes or schools have wanted this to happen. We have strict filming policies and procedures, but obviously none of that worked.
Not that strict.
And the fact that it's going on at, like, a Catholic elementary school. Did I say elementary school? Yeah. So it's going on at a little kid school, not even a high school, if it makes it any better, but I think the fact that there's little kids
It's a little
walking the
funnier,
halls make
yeah.
it, like, even worse. You would think that somebody is asking to shoot a video at your school. You're a Catholic school. You would just go do your Googles, and you'd be like, Lil Pump. And then you would know right away to be like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have this guy in here doing a video. It's really something. You just scroll through his Instagram. Look at his other videos.
Yeah.
What did you guys think? I don't feel bad for this Catholic school. I think they're the diocese, right? Is that the name of, like, the president of the school?
No.
Is that how it
Diocese
works?
is like an organization, I believe, sort of like a committee. I
Okay.
think.
So they would be like a committee of, like, the Catholic, like,
Yeah,
schools, like,
kind
throughout
of like
the
a
country.
board of
Okay.
directors of sorts, and for the area. I think. I don't quote me on this. I went to Catholic school, but I'm not too familiar with.
Right. So
What? Excuse me.
yeah, we're
They're
doing a show
complaining
over
about the
here.
volume.
Yeah.
Quiet on the set, please.
We can be louder if you want.
So I know how to project.
When you do that, you make
What?
the show go
Called
longer.
Security, everything is going to be fine.
I am
Don't worry.
security.
If you just let us be, the show will be shorter.
Anyway, if you can't take 2 seconds to Google the guy who's shooting a music video, as he's probably strolling by the cubbies with his blunt, then you deserve to have this happen. I'm not endorsing Lil Pump or anything that he does. No, I'm neither here nor there on this, but, like, do your job. We could get the Patriots mug around here. John's not here, but, like, that, just look it up.
Yeah, come on. And in the words of the great DJ Khaled, congratulations, you played yourself. All right, so Ed Sheeran.
Oh, this is my favorite.
There it is.
Oh, hey, thanks,
Jay
Jake. Thanks to
coming through.
our what is Jake's title?
Jake,
Like executive producer,
yeah, the EP,
Show fluffer.
the show,
show
fluff.
fluffer. Thank you.
So
yeah.
Ed Sheeran, Perfect just came out. He
All
put
right.
out the remix with Beyonce. and it's gone to #1 on the Billboard charts.
Knocked out Post Malone. Post Malone was perched there for 2 months. Rockstar was number
Damn.
1 for 8 weeks.
That's crazy.
So now Ed Sheeran and Beyonce are number 1. So what is Ed Sheeran's next move after he, hit number 1 with a remake of his song? Remaking his song again! He's got another version of Perfect coming out on Friday with classical singer Andrea Bocelli. I think that's how you would say it. Andrea.
A girl? Or
No,
a guy?
he's a dude.
Okay.
Andrea, I had to look that up because I was going to say Andrea Bocelli. And I was like, well, let me make sure that I'm pronouncing Bocelli right. And I was like, oh, it's Andrea. And he's like an opera singer kind of thing.
So does he sing in Italian?
Well, actually, I'm glad you brought that up because I don't know if he will be, but Ed Sheeran will be singing in Italian on this track because that's the cool thing to do these days is sing in foreign
Born
languages.
in the 4th of July.
Born in the 4th of July.
Well, I'm interested to hear him sing in Italian. And so this could possibly be another Despacito. Is that what he's trying to do right
I
here?
think
trying
so.
to get somebody
It's Portuguese.
Is it Portuguese?
No. Jake just said he's Spanish dummy, or it's Spanish dummy.
Oh,
Italian.
the Despacito?
Spanish.
Oh, I thought
yes,
you were talking
but Andrea
yeah.
Bocelli
is Italian.
And this an orchestral version of Perfect, which was mixed and produced by Ed Sheeran's brother.
Interesting.
Well, I don't know what his brother's name is because he didn't name
Bless
him.
you.
I bet you it's Bed Sheeran.
Because he's the brother of Ed.
I
I don't know if that's where you're going with, but that's what I put together.
But see, you know what? That's the Cubicle Show
That's the
connection right
magic
there.
of it.
It's a Cubicle Show difference.
Okay, so here we go. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler
All right,
alert,
so
spoiler alert.
if you haven't watched-
spoiler alert,
If you haven't watched the mid-season finale of The Walking
spoiler
Dead,
alert,
just mute the stream.
spoiler
Don't
alert.
go away. You need to stay here and watch, but we'll hold up a sign that lets you know
Yeah,
when the spoilers are over.
Because you're going to still want to hear
You're gonna
the
wanna
amazing
see-
theme song at the end.
Right, exactly. You're going to
Produced
see
by
the rest of the
DC.
show, but we got to talk about spoilers. So plug your ears or mute the stream right now. Leave the video up. Don't even freaking think about going anywhere else.
Okay, so they had the mid-season finale of
The Walking Dead.
this past week. 90 minutes of pure borderline trash.
I was hoping I was thinking garbage, but yeah, it was not a good episode. By and large, people have been really complaining about the season. The ratings have been declining. I don't think on an episode by episode basis, I don't think it's been bad, but the narrative structure and the writing is just going down the toilet. And this episode was bad.
Which is why I was like somebody saying like 3 or 4 years ago that Walking Dead should think about wrapping up the show so it could end strong.
Yeah.
Because now there's a chance that Walking Dead may not end strong. Like,
Because they were planning on it going on for basically forever,
Yeah.
it seems like the showrunners, and it could be canceled.
yeah, like in my opinion, there's certain shows that like knew when to call it. Like Parks and Rec, right?
Mhm.
I love that show. 5 seasons, 6 seasons,
7.
whatever. But they just knew that it was like, okay, let's just end it.
Yep.
Like we're getting to the point to where it's kind of getting a little stale, so let's just end it on a strong note.
And they
And-
did.
You know, and I don't want Walking Dead to end because I love the show and I love watching it every week. But if the product I'm going to get is borderline trash every other week, I'd just rather have the show end on a high note and then go back and rewatch it.
And it doesn't make sense where they're going with the show. Like, not where they're going, but where they've been. You know, they're supposed to be at war, but it's just like, they spend the whole season being like, yeah, we're winning, and then suddenly in the mid-season finale, it's like, oh no, we're not winning anymore. Out of nowhere, and there's no explanation, and Rick does completely stupid things, and then Carl does a completely stupid thing, which is actually kind of in character
Which here's
for
the
Carl.
big spoiler alert coming up, speaking of Carl.
So Carl got himself bit, so he's gonna die. He's not dead yet. He's probably gonna die in the first episode after the break. But like, people are all up in arms about this because in the comics, spoiler alert for the comics, Carl is still alive and he's now like the main character.
They've gone off path of the comics a long time ago, so get over that.
Right, exactly. I don't care that Carl is still alive in the comics. People are like outraged, like, how could you do this? Well, because the show's different.
And I
It's
know
going
you
in a
may be
different
like,
direction.
oh, why do you care Captain America's still alive and not? Because they follow almost everything else but Captain America being dead in that. Where Walking Dead has been off on its own for years and years and years now. I got over it.
So, wait, shoot, I lost my train of thought.
So Carl
Oh
got
yeah,
bit.
that's what I'm saying. Is the reason that a lot of people are complaining about this episode is because Carl is going to die. I don't care about that. I care about the fact that it was a bad episode. I almost could not care less about Carl. And I do think they did Chandler Riggs kind of dirty because they told him that they wanted him for like another 3 years, and then like a couple weeks later they're like, oh, actually, no, sorry, you're fired. but he didn't, like, it was not his
He's the
choice
guy
to
that
leave the
plays
show.
Carl.
Yeah, sorry, the actor that plays Carl. He did not choose to leave the show. I thought it might have been like, oh, he wants to go to college, you know, be a normal teenager. He's had his time. He wanted to stay, and they were just like, no, we're writing you out of the show. Goodbye, kid. So that sucks. But I just, the way, the direction the story is going, I actually sat down and thought about it, and I was like, there really are maybe like 2 or 3 characters that I would be upset to see die right now. And that's not a good thing when you hate all the characters on the show and you're like, just kill that character.
Well, I'm going to put up a poll right now on the Jams 96.3 Twitter asking if you enjoyed the season finale of The Walking, or mid-season finale of The Walking Dead or not. So, just give me like 2 minutes here to do that. So,
and while he does that, I'll keep talking because I like to talk. And I like to talk very loudly.
All right, Steve.
So that everyone in the office can hear. As I was saying, I did like the season in general, and I love the show. It's my favorite show on TV, so I don't want to see it go away. But they need to stop it with this. Like, if you're going to make a 90-minute episode, make it 90 minutes of things that are interesting and not, you know, like
they could have
slow
done that in like
pans over
30
dramatic
minutes.
faces. That was one thing that really bothered me 2 seasons ago. They had that one episode with Morgan that was 2 hours long where he was learning how to use a stupid stick. That was the most freaking boring waste of time in the entire series. It was interesting to learn how Morgan became such like a peaceful guy, but we didn't need 2 hours to do it. And they make decisions like that all the time where they'll waste an entire episode on something nobody cares about. So that's what they need to clean up. They need to figure out the characters and their motivations and stop just flip-flopping who's winning based on what, you know, where they want to go with the story. Because there's no way the Saviors should have gotten out of the sanctuary the way it was like at the end of episode 7. They were like, Eugene's plan failed. They were like, how are we going to do this? And all of a sudden, beginning of episode 8, they're driving in trucks away and Negan's smiling and we got no explanation. So that's it. We done with spoilers?
Yep, so that's it.
All right, so spoilers are over. You can bring us back. Okay.
All right, so with all that being said, go to the Jams 96.3 Twitter. Let us know if you enjoyed the mid-season finale of The Walking Dead.
I'm wearing my hair. Let me show my shirt. This is my today's shirt because it's there we go. It's The Walking Dead. It's Rick. Look at the mirror. But it's also because the guy who plays Rick is in love actually with the scene where he does the cue cards, which is my favorite scene. Just watched that movie last night, so I wore my shirt today. So there's bonus content from the Cubicle Show.
All right, so with that being said, we'll be back tomorrow, 10:30 Eastern Time.
Because that's the only time zone that matters.
Right here on the Jams Facebook page. But Monday through Thursday, 10:30 is how you can catch the show. So
next week's the last episode, or last week of shows for the year.
Yeah, and we'll return on the 9th.
So
with season number 2.
We still got 5 more episodes.
We got a lot to offer
and
a lot coming up for season 2.
Ooh, it's gonna be big time.
Also, one last time, go to the Jams 96.3 Twitter and
take the poll
at Jams963. I just reposted again because I spelled some stuff wrong, so I took that down real quick. So if you did vote, just go revote. Appreciate it at Jams963. We'll tell you what you thought about it tomorrow on the show, and that's called a tease.
We'll tell you what you thought about it.
Yeah. Okay. So bye.
1 Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show! That's what I'm talking about, boy! Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. Yeah? Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. Yeah! Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. It's the Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. It's the Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. It's the Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show. Cubicle Show! Not a rectangle show. Not a triangle show. Not a pyramid show. It's a cubicle show! Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. Yeah? Bill and Scott Cubicle Show. Yeah! Cubicle Show. We just got 1 boy!